Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel. The magic of compound interest, so make sure to watch the full video. You can build wealth over the long term with the powerful tool of compound interest. It refers to the idea of earning interest on both the principal amount and the interest that has accumulated over time, leading to exponential growth. We will go over the fundamentals of compound interest, how it differs from simple interest, and how you can use it to grow your investments and savings. The fundamentals of compound interest, how it works, and why it matters. The concept of compound interest is straightforward, but has significant implications. It basically means that you earn interest on both the initial investment and the interest that has accumulated over time. Over the long term, this compounding effect can lead to significant growth. For instance, in the event that you contribute $1,000 at a 10% return, you will procure $100 in interest in the primary period. However, in the second period, you will earn $110 in interest, 10% on $1,000 plus 10% on $100. If you reinvest that $100 and earn interest on both the original investment and the interest earned. If you reinvest $110, the new return, with the previous investment of $1,100, the old base, during the third period, you will receive a return of $121, 10% on $1,100 plus 10% on $110, and so forth. The fact that it can generate significant wealth over time with relatively little effort is what gives compound interest its power. You can make use of the compounding effect to increase your wealth over the long term by investing regularly and getting started early. The difference between compound interest and simple interest is that compound interest is earned on both the principal amount and the accumulated interest. The interest charged on a loan or deposit is known as compound interest. In our day-to-day lives, it is the concept we use the most. The amount's compound interest is based on both the principal and the interest earned over time. This is the primary distinction between simple and compound interest. If we examine our bank statements, we typically observe that interest is credited annually to our account. This annual interest fluctuates for the same principal amount. We can observe that interest rises each year. As a result, we can conclude that the bank's interest is not straightforward interest. Compound interest, or CI, is the name given to this interest. You will learn the definition of compound interest as well as the formula and derivation for calculating compound interest when compounded annually, semi-annually, quarterly, and so on in this article. Likewise, one can comprehend the reason why the profit from accumulate interest is more than the profit from straightforward interest through the models given in view of genuine uses of accruing funds here. Simple interest is only earned on the principal amount. Straightforward premium is regularly utilized for momentary advances or ventures, for example, investment accounts or transient bonds. On the other hand, long-term investments like retirement savings and investment portfolios typically make use of compound interest. Deduction of progressive accrual equation. The progressive accrual recipe is gotten from the basic premium equation. Simple interest is calculated as the sum of the principal, the time period, and the interest rate. Psi equals P/100. Let us first comprehend the fundamental distinction between the computation of simple interest and compound interest before moving on to the derivation of the formula for compound interest. In the case of simple interest calculation, the principal remains constant over time. However, in compound interest calculation, interest is added to the principal at each interval. Derivation. The following is how the compound interest formula is derived. Let P serve as the principal and set the annual interest rate at R%. The compounding period is 1 year because the interest is compounded annually in this case. Note that the head P will change after each 1 year. Let's say that the first year interest is I1. The amount at the end of the first year is then a 1 equals P plus I1 equals P plus R/100P. I1 equals R% of P equals R/100P. This will give a 1 equals P, 1 plus R/100. Presently, let us do the interest computation for the subsequent year. It should be noted that the first year's principal plus interest, will become the second year's principal. This expression can be written as a 2 equals P, 1 plus R/100. 1 plus R/100 equals P, 1 plus R/100 to 2, continuing in this manner for compounding periods. The amount at the end of years A equals 1 plus R/100. Now the interest for the second year is I2 equals R percent of P2 equals R slash 100 P2 equals R slash 100 prone plus R slash 100. Now the amount at the end of the second, rather than composing R slash 100 without fail, we normally convert the rate into decimals by separating by 100 to get R and substitute it in the equation P, 1 plus RAT. Simple interest and compound interest from the aforementioned calculations and formulas. We can see that the first interval's compound interest is the same as the simple interest. Be that as it may, after a time frame, there is a perceptible contrast in the complete interest got. Because the principal on which it is calculated is constant, the value of simple interest for each time period is the same. However, the rate of compound interest fluctuates and rises over time. This is because the annual compound interest calculation is based on a rising principal. In the case of compound interest, the principal for a given year is equal to the sum of the initial principal value and the interest from previous years. How to use compound interest to grow your savings and investments strategies. Take advantage of the compounding effect to significantly increase your savings by investing regularly and starting early. Choose an investment vehicle that provides compound interest or returns that are compounded, such as dividend-paying stocks or mutual funds. Instead of receiving cash payouts, reinvest your earnings. Allow your speculations to develop, and don't superfluously break the chain of compounding by pulling out from your ventures. Putting resources into a duty-advantaged retirement account like 400 in Onyx and IRAs permits your ventures to develop tax-exempt until retirement. Investing in a variety of asset classes, such as stocks, bonds, and real estate, can reduce your risk and increase your long-term returns. You should also be patient and refrain from making rash decisions about investments based on changes in the market in the short term. Consider using a compound interest calculator to see how various investment strategies and interest rates might affect your money. Compound interest formula. As we had already discussed, the compound interest is the interest based on the initial principal amount and the interest collected over the period of time. The compound interest formula is given below. Compound interest equals amount, principal. Here, the amount is given by where at equals amount, P equals principal, or equals rate of interest. N equals number of times interest is compounded per year, P equals time in years. Alternatively, we can write the formula as given below. CI equals A, P, and equals ON plus. This formula is also called periodic compounding formula. Here, A represents the new principal sum, or the total amount of money after compounding period. P represents the original amount or initial amount, or it is the annual interest rate. It represents the compounding frequency or the number of times interest is compounded in a year. Represents the number of years. It is to be noted that the above formula is the general formula for the number of times the principal is compounded in a year. If the interest is compounded annually, the amount is given as equals ON plus 100. Thus, the compound interest rate formula can be expressed for different scenarios, such as the interest rate is compounded yearly, half-yearly, quarterly, monthly, daily, etc. Your savings and potential for retirement can be greatly enhanced by compound interest and compounding. With effective compounding, you can achieve your objectives with less of your own money. However, compounding can also be to your disadvantage, as is the case when high-interest credit card debt accumulates over time. That is the reason compounding is a strong inspiration to take care of your obligations in a hurry and begin putting away and setting aside your cash early. So that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the video. Use the comments section below to tell us your thoughts about the video. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of all the latest videos.